Who did the do? I want to know who did the do. Marissa, did you do the do? Hannah and Nikki D, did you do the do? Was it good? No. Okay. Because that's all that matters. I just want to know who did the do.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're going to talk about it. Today, we are reviewing Love is Blind DC Season 7, Episodes 5 and 6. So much happened in these 2 episodes, so let's get right into it. But before we do, please don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're made aware every time I post a new video. And if you already think you're subscribed, just take 1 second to double check for me because sometimes YouTube be unsubscribing people. We can't have that, okay? So let's get straight into these 2 episodes. So as episode 5 opens up, we see Leo reading a little letter that he wrote for Brittany, and then he proposes.
Will you marry me?
Oh my God. Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Now it is finally time for Nikki D and Hannah to meet, and she says she has high hopes for what he's gonna look like.
He definitely doesn't have a problem with getting women in the real world. Worst case scenario, he's like super, super tiny. I think he's gonna have a lot of swag. He played football, he's a jock. He talks about like how he works out, and I literally just can't imagine myself not being into that man.
Ooh, child, if this is not one of the most awkward reveals I have ever seen.
You're absolutely beautiful. You are.
Thank you.
Okay. Will you marry me?
Of course I will.
It was too awkward, okay? You can see it all over Hannah's face. Nick is not what she envisioned. Nick isn't what she anticipated at all. We see Nick kind of poking fun at Hannah being taller than him, and we also see her ask him if she's what he expected, and he says yes, and then he says this.
I mean, you already knew what I was gonna look like, right? Well, there you go.
In the pod, he describes himself as like a football player, like 5'11", bigger, medium build. What he said, I don't think was really truthful, but it is making me feel a little bit insecure because I feel like I'm bigger than him, but I know that men start to feel like emasculated by that.
Y'all gotta learn to stop doing that. Stop hinting at what you think you look like, because sometimes what we think we look like, we don't really look like. Nick keeps telling Hannah how beautiful he thinks she is, and she's just like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. She doesn't compliment him back. So the awkwardness just continues, and in all honesty, I could not wait for this scene to be over. So next we see Ramses and Marissa, and he tells her that this morning he was in tears of gratitude because he's just so thankful for her. He says that she makes him feel safe and secure in who he is, and that is very important to him because people view him differently because of the way that he expresses his masculinity. So he loves the feeling that he can be 100% himself with Marissa. And Marissa says she feels like she's won the lottery with him, okay? And he makes her feel like she deserves to be loved. That sounds cute and all, but baby, you should feel like you deserve to be loved with or without Ramses. Anyway, now we get this cute little proposal.
Marissa, will you marry me?
I will marry you. I'm sorry, it's easy yes for me.
So now it's time for Leo and Brittany to... I can't even... Now it's time for Leo and Brittany to finally meet. And before this review, I was saying I would love it if Brittany just turned around and walked away as soon as those doors open, because that is what Leo deserves, okay? That's what he deserves.
It's okay. Will you marry me?
Yeah, I love it.
You're so fucking beautiful, holy shit. I'm engaged to like the hottest girl on earth. It's insane.
This reveal was awkward AF too. A lot of staring. Leo keeps grabbing the back of Brittany's hair, and obviously she doesn't like it because she keeps leaning back and like, you know, like trying to ease on up out of there. Like, why you keep touching the back of my head? And we see Brittany ask him what he loves about her. And he lists these very generic things that can be said about anyone, okay? And then he asks her what she loves about him.
What do you love about me?
This is so much pressure.
It's okay.
Brittany does admit that this entire thing feels very awkward for her, and she says that she also feels bad about not reciprocating Leo's I love yous, but she says that she wants to make sure when she says it, she actually means it. Girl, that day will never come. That day will never come, okay? And in all honesty, we know Leo really doesn't mean it. Like, do we really believe that Leo loves Brittany? Leo is just gonna say whatever he thinks a good guy would say in any given moment, but there's no feeling behind it, there's no truth, there's no sincerity behind it at all. And they actually have a little conversation about how things would be if they met in the real world, and they say, they both agree that they wouldn't interact with each other if they were in the real world, and that just leads me to believe that Brittany knows she would never give Leo the time of day in the real world, and Leo knows that he would never get the time of day with Brittany in the real world. Then this part made me chuckle. Brittany asks Leo, if they don't go to Mexico, can they go to Miami instead? And I'm like, now why would she ask that unless she's planning on not going to Mexico? And I was thinking maybe she meant if they don't pick to go to Mexico, because not all couples who get engaged actually go on the honeymoon. I was like, okay, maybe that's what she's talking about. Or is she saying that she doesn't want to go to Mexico with him on the cameras, but she'll do like a little side trip with him to Miami? I didn't know what she meant.
Oh God, what have I done?
Either way, the scene was way too long for me. And then we get a little text on the screen saying that these two, in fact, did not make it to Mexico. And I'm assuming that it's because production even saw that this was fake. These two don't really like each other, and we're not about to waste 2 tickets on them. So I guess we'll be seeing Brittany on The Perfect Match. This kind of pissed me off though, because why y'all had me taking all these notes for these people and you knew they weren't going to make it to Mexico? I would have loved to see them in Mexico with the mess, with everyone else, with the 4 of them, Leo, Nick, Hannah, and Brittany all together. I think that would have made for some good TV, but guess they didn't. So now it's time for Marissa and Ramses reveal.
Rams?
Oh my God.
I will say this reveal and everything, even into episode 6 with these two, everything is given besties for life. It's very friendly, very cutesy, even though they, do grown people things later on. It's still giving bestie who I just be messing around with from time to time. That's what these two give. There wasn't a smidge of romance, of sexual tension, of one's yearning to rip the other's clothes off and ravish. There was none of that. And I know they say opposites attract. Okay, Marissa is always bouncing off the walls, and Ramses, he has more of a chill vibe, but I can see him getting a little annoyed. Or maybe that was just me. And it sucks because Marissa is an Aries. She's an Aries like me, but she's a lot. But that scene with her bouncing all over the place, it took me back to the conversation that she had with Ramses, and she asked him if her personality was a bit too much. And remember, Ramses was like, as long as you give me a little space from time to time, I think we'll be okay. We'll see. So we have 6 couples heading to Mexico. I'm not going to go through all of them. We know who they are. Okay, let me go through all of them. We have Tyler and Garrett. We have, oh my God, we have Nick and Hannah. We have Ashley and Tyler. We have Tim and Alex. We have, that's only 4. There's 2 more couples. Oh, we have, okay, child, I don't remember. Anyway, so next we see my favorite couple, Ashley and Tyler, but I don't know how to feel. Okay, some of y'all have shattered my dreams of Tyler. Apparently there's some tea going on about Tyler. Okay, apparently he has 3 children and he be stealing money from the women that he's in relationships with. And there's like screenshots and stuff all over TikTok of the women asking him for their money back. And he's gaslighting them like, oh, you asking me for my money back, that mean you was never really about me. Boy, give me back my damn money. Tyler hasn't come out and said anything about it, so we don't know. But the the receipts are receipting. The receipts are receipting, and now I can't watch any scene with Tyler and Ashley the same. So I don't even think I can call them my favorite couple anymore, honestly, because the receipts are receipting, y'all. But anyway, we see Ashley tell Tyler that she's been abstinent because she wanted to make sure that she wasn't engaging in activities with people who she was not emotionally connected to, right? And she said that when she started focusing on herself and not focusing on men, everything just changed for her for the better. And she says that she wants the next person that she's with to be someone who she genuinely cares for, okay? Tyler said that it's been a minute for him too. And at this point, I was like, oh, I hope it stays like that, okay? I don't want y'all touching each other. Just don't touch Ashley. Leave her alone. So next we see more of Hannah and Nick, and they're talking about looks and expectations and being still very awkward, in my opinion.
You looking at my beard? Is something wrong with it?
No, I was just
You
like,
shave my shit up?
no, you look nice. We'll see.
So when coming to speaking on nightly activities, okay, the 2 of them, they decide to stay on the same page about not openly discussing what they do in the bedroom because Nick says that he has a brand to protect. And Hannah's like, okay, I don't got no job, so I don't care, but I'm cool with that. So next we see Marissa say something that I can't imagine she would think would make Ramses feel good.
It's because I've talked about the type of guy I wanted to date, which is someone like you, but I never date them.
Why?
Maybe thought they were like too soft. I think I probably judged them.
Like, were you really into like military men?
I was hyper masculine.
So Ramses, he's already aware that he isn't the typical version of what society deems as masculine. And now Marissa is saying that she always chooses to date the hyper masculine dudes and she wouldn't normally go for a guy like Ramses. And you can see it all over his face. He doesn't feel great about that. Child, so now we get a clip of Steven and Monica.
You're so handsome. Super.
Why are we whispering? I didn't mention it in my last review. At the reveal, she was whispering. It was annoying. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just in a moment, but she's still doing it now. Girl, why are you whispering? Why? Monica says that with Steven, she doesn't care about the things that she used to, okay? She would never before go for someone who's only done 2 years of college and has a trade.
I've definitely placed value on things like what fancy job they have and like what prestigious university they went to.
And apparently she's trying to do things differently now. But you know what Monica gives? She gives the girl who will take Steven, right, to dinner to meet her friends. And I guess we'll see this in a later episode. But I feel like she's the type to be like, oh no, don't say you're an electrician. Say you're something else. Oh no, don't say you went to a 2-year college. Say you went to a 4-year college. Like, that's just the vibe I get from her. And by the end of episode 6, I don't like her, but we'll get to that. And Steven lets us know that he is ready to go.
Yeah, if she wants to have sex tonight, I'm good to go. I'm waxed and everything, baby.
So now we have Garrett and Taylor, okay? And they speak about their family and how sweet and generous both of their moms are. They speak about being sure to involve each other and ask each other for help and for input, as opposed to continuing to doing everything on their own, because they're both very independent people, but now they can lean on each other. Next, we see Tyler and Ashley. They're in the pool, okay? Ashley got on her little bathing suit and stuff. Tyler trying to get a couple of feels. Ashley like, But they discussed that other than them, Taylor and Garrett were the only couple in this experience who did not discuss looks. So they said that they actually stayed true to the experiment. But they both say that even though they didn't discuss looks, they're very happy with what they're looking at right now. Next, we see a conversation between Alex and Tim that just further confirms why I do not want these two together at all. And this time it's Alex that has me like, girl, what? Alex asks Tim if she's super bossy, and she also lets him know that she used to have a temper and she hates repeating herself. It annoys her, okay? Tim says that it takes a lot to upset him or to get him out of his zone. And Alex says, oh, is that a challenge? Alex is toxic. Why would you take that as a challenge, baby? Huge red flag. I didn't like that at all. And it could have been a little jokey joke, but there's a sense of truth behind every joke, and we gonna see later on, she probably wasn't joking. So between Tim barking like a dog and this new version of Alex that we're seeing, I really don't want these two together. Next, we have another couple who I can't stand to see together. We have Nick and Hannah. The more they're on the screen, the more I roll my eyes, okay? The combos that these two have are so surface level, and it's always about looks. Nikki D says that he's excited to see what the other women look like. He also asks Hannah if she's had lip injections and if she would get plastic surgery if he was able to afford it. How about you focus on affording it first? Let's start there. Can you afford it? No. Do I have to bring my truck in again to back it up? Beep, 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 beep. Focus on affording it first before you asking her all these stupid ass questions. You skipping too many steps. So next we see Hannah saying how shocked she was when she saw Nikki D.
When I first met Nick during the reveal, it was shocking. He built himself in a way that was like different than maybe what he is. Look-wise, like I definitely go for like the really big, like 6'5", jockey guy. Like, and it really took me a second to really like match what he actually is to the voice.
Hannah saying this is so rich because like I said in my previous review, y'all both talked yourselves up in the pods. Both of y'all did this. And y'all are not supposed to do this. You will end up disappointed every single time. You know how like we can all read a book, right? And the book will have the same descriptions of whatever character. And even though we're all reading the same thing, we all have a different visual of what that character looks like, right? That's what this reminds me of. Don't give anyone any descriptive details at all because they are going to visualize something. It's always going to be something different. And in situations like these, people always end up disappointed. Stop doing it. So Hannah says all of that, how shocked she was, and Nick D isn't what she thought, but she says that she's still physically attracted to him. Girl, I don't believe it. Next, we see Tyler and Ashley getting ready for bed, and they hold hands to pray.
Bringing us here safely. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for our first day together.
And before, I would have been watching this scene like, oh my God, that is so sweet. That is so cute. But now I'm like, did you pray for them kids? Did you pray for them kids? Did you pray for God to send you the money back that you need to pay back to these other women? Did you pray for that money? Did you pray for those kids? I I can't even watch them the same. Y'all ruined it for me. Oh, no. All right, let me chill out. So next we see clips of the couples getting ready for bed. Garrett shows Taylor how he tapes his mouth at night. Marissa and Ramses, they're still giving friend vibes, but to my surprise, child, they showed me. They showed me. Apparently, after dinner earlier today, they had a little moment, okay? And they said that it was due to all of the sexual tension that they said had been building up since the pods. And they think that they broke a record. They didn't even wait for bedtime. They got it in earlier in the day. I hear you. I love that for them. I love that for them. Next, we see Hannah calling Nick the love doctor, and she's telling him everything that she loves about him. But then it's all ruined by these little ducks, okay? So they're on the beach, and there are these little duck thingies that I guess people can ride, okay? Nick says he wants to ride it, and Hannah's like, no, she doesn't want to ride it. So Nick is like, all right, I'll go do it myself. He goes over, and this lady comes over to him, and she's like, oh, hey. This lady was looking for some camera time, okay? But she's like, oh, hey, I'll ride the ducks with you or whatever. And Hannah's like, Nick, no, Nick, calling him back. And the lady's like, oh, she's jealous.
Nick.
Oh, she's jealous. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous.
All right.
Cannot be trusted.
Ciao. You guys have a good day.
Hannah is very upset by this situation. In all honesty, to me, this was innocent, especially because it was an older lady. Like, I be walking with my man and old ladies be saying stuff. Like, I be like, girl, you better stop playing, grandma. Don't play with me, girl. I fight grandma. As I'm just playing. Did you hit subscribe? Did you hit like? Okay, thank you. It seemed innocent to me, right? But Hannah felt the way that she felt. She felt like it was disrespectful, okay? And she didn't like that Nick laughed when the lady said that she was jealous. So when Nick comes back over, he's like, wait, are you really upset? Like, should we just end this now? He's being sarcastic, but he's like, should we just end this now? Because Hannah's entire mood completely changed.
I think you were just jealous
Of what, the dog?
of the lady.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna deal with a bunch of other couples? Like, I can't be myself around you?
You can.
And he was like, I just wanted you to ride the duck with me. And Hannah's like, oh, I'm too grown to ride a duck. I'm not a kid. I'm like, girl, you can't even stand on your own decision. You could ride that duck. You ain't that grown, okay? Go ride the duck. It ain't that serious. So child, that was episode 5. Now we're on to episode 6, and it is the next morning and everyone is waking up. At this point, I thought that Ramses and Marissa were the only couple who got intimate, but we'll find out more about that later on. But overall, everyone seems to be in a really good mood, okay? We see a conversation between Garrett and Taylor about problems that can possibly arise when they do move back home together. Garrett says that the both of them are very ambitious and aggressive in their career, and he understands that they're gonna have to make some really big life changes and compromises, but he says that he's willing to do that. And then they go paddleboarding. It's really cute, fun date. Next, we see Marissa and Ramses, and they're growing in their physical connection. They both seem very satisfied and fulfilled, and I love it for these besties. I really do. Next, we get a date between Ashley and Tyler, where it seems as though Tyler may be doing a bit of foreshadowing.
Great point to meet me.
Great point to meet me, because you hated me. Just prepare them. It'll be like, he is not that nice. You never know who comes out of woodworks.
See, now I get this in the sense that people who you've dealt with in the past might not always have the best things to say about you. Everyone experiences you at different stages, at different times in life, right? So I get that. And hopefully as time progresses, you grow, you evolve, you learn, and you become a better person, right? That's fair. But it's almost like in this scene, he was priming Ashley for like any scandals that might hop out, like what's happening right now. Ashley says that there is nothing absolutely nothing that can change her mind on Tyler. And I'm like, oh, baby, back it up. Beep, beep, beep. You've only known this man for like 10 days. Okay, I know that's your man. I know that's your fiance. You've only known him for 10 days, boo. You might want to take heed to things that other people have said, like people who've known him for 11 days. You might want to listen to those people, okay? Next, we see Tim annoying Alex.
No, he's not getting that.
It's a good sun hat. I feel it.
I don't.
Good. I love that you don't.
Now, remember in the men's quarters when Tim had on that yellow shirt and he says that the reason why he bought the shirt was because his ex or whoever, the girl he was talking to at that time, said she didn't like it and that's why he bought it. It seems like Tim likes annoying his girlfriends or women he's involved with, like poking fun at them, almost like brother and sister. And later we see Alex telling Tim that she hates his style. She hates his style, okay? They're going back and forth. And immediately I'm like, I already don't like this couple. And on top of everything I already don't like, I can also see that these two have a very, very thin line between playful banter and someone saying something or making a joke that is very offensive that cannot be taken back. And baby, by the end of the episode, that's where we're going to be at with these two. But in the meantime, they speak about what their pet peeves might be when living together. Alex says that she's a bit messy. She might have 4 or 5 outfits all around on the ground while she's getting ready. Tim says that he's a neat freak. Just make sure you put your clothes over to the side in the corner. Alex is mad that he only gave her a little corner in this hypothetical situation. These two stressing me out. And then Alex makes a comment where she says she does what she pleases and she gets what she wants. And I'm like, I have a question. Who is this girl? Who is this girl? Maybe because in the pods, every time I saw Alex, she was crying from something that Tim was telling her. Maybe that's why I didn't really get to see her actual personality. All I saw was how she responded to Tim and his stories. And now that I do, I'm not feeling it. This is yet another couple that I like less and less and less every time they're on my screen. And speaking of women I'm not feeling, here we go, Monica and Steven. Okay, we see them go on a little spa date, and Monica says this.
Steven is not someone that I would like walk up to and be like, I want to like take off your clothes. You are the hottest guy here. No, he isn't. But I think he's the hottest guy ever because he's the best guy ever. I'm in love with him.
See now this, she said this in the full voice. She wasn't whispering. She didn't whisper this, okay? She also compared the needles to Steven's boner. That's not good. Then we also see Monica telling Steven about the ick and how she hopes that she doesn't get it. But sometimes people get it really innocently and you don't really know when it's coming. Girl, clearly you already have the ick for Steven. You just don't want to say it because why would that even come up in conversation with someone who you're feeling? Child, if you and someone are feeling each other, the mental is there, the physical is there, the sexual is there, the emotional is there. Who has time to talk about an ick? We ain't talking about that, okay? So the fact that she even brought this up shows me that she's already disgusted with Steven. And baby, we see Steven make a comment about Monica wearing a black girl headband. Steven, I'm gonna give you some grace because I know you said you just discovered, what you're mixed with not too long ago. Spend some time with the other side of your family so they can teach you. We don't say that. We don't say black girl headband. It's just a headband. It's just a headband. And to all of my subscribers who are watching who are not familiar, please don't go asking a black woman about her black girl headband. Please don't do that. Do not follow Steven. He don't know what the hell he talking about, okay? We wear regular headbands. It's not called a black girl headband. Okay, moving on. So now we see the couples getting ready for the pool party. I love these parties when everyone gets to meet and see who they were dating and see how the other couples interact. Love, 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 love these parties.
Really sexy.
Thank you.
You look at fabuloso, like a whole meal.
No, I got it. Estás muy bien guapo.
Estás muy guapo. I laughed too hard at this. I really laughed at this for like 2 minutes straight. I don't know why, but the way she pronounced everything just had me guapo, had me cracking up. I couldn't stop laughing. All right, so it's pool party time. All the girls want to see Nikki D. Nikki D, that's your fault. You was in those pods talking yourself up. Now they all want to see you. And a lot of them are underwhelmed. So everyone arrives, they're putting the faces to the names. And of course, everyone is talking about who slept together and who didn't. Because that's all that matters.
Who did the do? I want to know who did the do. Marissa, did you do the do? Hannah and Nikki D, did you do the do? Was it good? No. Okay. Because that's all that matters. I just want to know who did the do.
I had too much fun by myself. I'm so sorry. Okay, moving on. So we get confirmation that Monica and Steven did the do, okay? They did the do. Hannah and Nikki G, they joke about it. These two with this whole thing, like they don't want to say if they did it, but then it's like Hannah wants to say that they... grow up. Oh my gosh. Okay. But they mentioned that they did it. Then they're like, oh no, we didn't do it. They just keep joking about it back and forth. And by the end of this episode, I still don't know if they did it. And in all honesty, I don't give a damn at this point. But from what I gather, the only people who have not slept together is Jarrett and Taylor. Okay. Now we got all that out the way. So we see Hannah complaining to Marissa about Duckgate. Okay. So the way that she explains the story, she kind of puts some extra on it.
And then like some like older woman did it with him. She's like, let's race bait it. The girl was like, oh, looks like your girl just a jealous little bitch. Yeah, and Nick just laughed. Listen, I'm not like naturally a jealous person, but like, don't do that because I respect you and you gotta respect me.
Yeah. It didn't happen exactly the way that she's saying it did, right? I didn't think that she would still be bothered by this, but since she is, I really think that this is something that she should have brought up to Nick in the moment, as opposed to what we later see she decided to do instead. So the guys and the girls separate to chat and to gossip and give everyone the rundown of what's been going on. Next, we see Nick giving the fellas his version of what happened during Duckgate, and he also tells them what happened after.
And there's like a list of like 10 bullet points on a note card of what she's questioning. Maturity, question mark. I'm like, what? It was crazy, bro.
So apparently Hannah left out a little list of things that she's questioning about him, and he feels like she left this out on purpose, and it's upsetting him because he's like, if this is such a big deal to you, how are you going to handle more serious things or things that he considers to be more serious? Then we see Tim telling Nick that he's not the type who wants to be arguing over little immature stuff. And we see that Marissa cannot stay away from Ramses. And we also see Hannah and Nick still doing this little inside joke that they have about having sex, not having sex, whatever. So then we get a clip of the ladies putting the men in the hot seat to grill them. No one had any questions for Nick, so he just leaves. Steven passes the test by telling the ladies how much he loves Monica. Tyler and Ramsey also passed the test. Tyler says that he and Ashley are locked in and they are definitely getting married. And Ramsey says that he loves how Marissa handles him and his vulnerability. And child, now it's Tim's turn.
We don't know.
Cause she know, and she knows if I push, don't be scared to push back. Then I'm gonna talk my shit, and she can talk her shit back. I love it.
Y'all toxic, the both of y'all. With his comments and the comments that she made previously, it's like they're looking forward to an argument. It's like they're looking forward to pushing back on each other. Why? Why are y'all looking forward to that? Why do y'all want that? 2 days in. But we later see, I don't think he really wants to push back like he claims he does. At this point, I said, I don't like this couple at all. And I literally wrote, these two are an explosion waiting to happen. So next we see Hannah and Nick, and they're talking about that bullet point list that Hannah made. And they're both talking about why they're upset. And Hannah's like, do you understand why I'm upset? And Nick says, yeah, I do. But no, Nick, you really don't. Because when you were talking to the guys, you were like, I don't understand what she's so upset about. In that moment, Nick, you should have had a deeper conversation with Hannah to really get to the root. If you really care about her and you do want to make this work, hey, babe, what was it that upset you? Was it that it was a woman? Was it that she was laughing? Would it have been any different or better if I said this? And I also think that Hannah should be more forthcoming with what actually upset her. Even though it's not something that I looked at my screen and I was like, oh, hell no, how could Nick do that? I didn't get that reaction from it. It seemed pretty innocent to me, but clearly if it bothered Hannah, her feelings are valid. And I think that they should have had a deeper conversation about it as opposed to Nick just saying, oh yeah, I understand when he doesn't. But for some reason, I also believe that even if the woman said nothing, even if the woman wasn't like, oh, you're jealous, Hannah would have still been upset because Nick went over there without her. I feel like this would have still been an issue. That list would have still been written. There still would have been problems if Nick just went over there, rolled the duck on his own, and went right back to Hannah. I genuinely believe that. And then we see Nick ask her about the last bullet point.
What was the last bullet point? Delusional.
Yeah.
You think I'm delusional?
And she's just like, she doesn't even answer. So this night pretty much ends with everyone in a great mood except for Nikki D and Hannah. So we see everyone go home and they're discussing, what went down that night and discussing the other couples, comparing themselves. Ramses and Marissa, they just know that they're getting married. And they said another couple. Who else did they? I think they said Ashley and Tyler are definitely getting married. And then they're like iffy on the rest of the couples. And Ramses is in the middle of a conversation and Marissa's just like, I love you. And she just hops on him. She's like, okay, enough talking. Let's let's go to bed, okay? And I'm like, damn, Marissa just cannot get enough of this plant daddy energy. She is loving it. Next, we get this weird interaction between Monica and Steven that just pissed me off, okay? All the way off. So Monica asks Steven what he thinks about the night. How does he think the night went? And he starts explaining, but I guess he was talking for a bit too long.
And I was so excited meeting everyone else. It doesn't sort of.
I love you to death. I'm obsessed
Am I
with
being
you.
chatty again?
Literally cannot get a word in. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Really trying to what you have to say, but I just,
You're right. You're right.
fun. I'm obsessed with you. We have to share the space. It's like kind of not getting funny a little bit.
Girl, I absolutely hated that. I absolutely hated that. Now, granted, this show is edited and produced. We don't know how long Steven was talking for. He could have been speaking for hours. We don't know. However, did it warrant that reaction? She was just like, oh, it's like, you're talking so much. And I felt bad for Steven because he was super apologetic. He literally put his hand over his mouth like a little kid. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Even if your man is talking a lot, there's a way to say like, babe, shut up. But she was just like, it's like really getting annoying now. I didn't like it. It was unnecessary and it was rude. One thing's for sure, Steven is better than me. Steven is better than me because the way I wouldn't have said shit to Monica for the rest of the night, she would be begging me to speak. Real talk. And another thing about Monica that I found weird, I forgot to mention it earlier. Why does she keep bringing up his percentage of blackness? Like, why is that always a thing for her? What is that about? And to top it all off, when he stopped speaking, she barely had anything to say. And then when she finally spoke, she was like, oh, well, wasn't the vibe weird between Tim and Alex? And I'm like, yes, that's what I've been saying. But still, you didn't have to cut him off to say that. So you cut him off when he was speaking about y'all relationship and how y'all can grow. You cut that conversation off to speak about Tim and Alex. Steven, don't even speak to her anymore. I don't like Monica. So next we see Hannah pull a note out the trash and her and Nikki D have a little conversation about it.
Actions speak louder than words.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand where that came from?
Yeah, but it goes both ways, right?
It does go both ways.
Yeah.
And she has a bit of an attitude, but Hannah, this is on you. You wrote the list and you left it on the table. You can't get mad when he tells you, pull that list up out the trash and we gonna go through it line by line. That's what Nick said. But he's agreeing with Hannah like he did before, and it's clear that he is taking that go along to get along approach, even when there's things that he's not cool with. And I'm like, no, Nick, say what's on your mind. Say what's on your mind in the moment. But he does let Hannah know that he is not the only one who's delusional before he gets up and walks off. And I said, oop, I know that's right, Nick. You better tell her, like, girl, you delusional too. Child, next we get this scene between Tim and Alex, okay? And I'm so upset that we don't have the footage because I really don't know what happened. So we hear a knock at the door. Alex gets up to go answer it. So clearly Tim did not spend the night. Something happened and he slept somewhere else, okay? But it's apparent that there was some type of argument. So it seems like Alex wanted to go to bed and Tim kind of didn't want her to go to bed. And he was upset with her for wanting to go to bed. And he felt like maybe she didn't want to speak to him. And she's like, no, I was just tired, right? And apparently there was an argument because of that. And Alex said some things and Tim said some things. And Alex says that she put her hand over Tim's mouth to stop him from talking because she couldn't get a word in. No, ma'am. I say that for anybody. And this is someone that you've only met a couple days ago. You don't know you don't know. No matter if it's a man or a woman, you don't put your hands on people. And especially on their mouth, you don't know what type of reaction that could have caused. Don't put your hands on people. Don't put your hands on people. If you feel like you can't get a word in, leave the situation. Y'all could talk about it another day. And apparently, Tim tried to leave the situation and then Alex wouldn't let him leave. Stop doing that. If someone wants to leave, let them leave. Let them leave. But Alex claims that she didn't want him to leave because he was packing and she felt like if he left, he didn't come back. Okay, you've only known him for 5 days. You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
When I covered your mouth, I feel like that made it even worse.
I started to feel very, very disrespected.
But I just wanted you to stop being upset.
I don't argue with people like that. I literally try to remove myself to be cool, saying, oh, you're insecure.
Oh, because when you thought that whatever my issue was had to do with you,
that point,
you just kept yelling and you're just like, okay, speak. And I felt belittled.
And apparently Tim says that Alex was calling him out of his name and he doesn't take that lightly. She didn't protest it, so I believe it. But with the way that these two have spoken, Tim talking about he's a dog. Alex talking about she's bossy. She get what she wants. She say what she wants. Tim talking about he likes that back and forth, right? When he gives it for his woman to give it back. And Alex taking it being hard for him to get out of his zone as a challenge to get him out of that zone. Keep these two away from each other. They have no business together. This is a toxic mess. They need to be away from each other before it gets even worse. Tim ends the conversation pretty much saying that he needs to see if he can still view her as a wife. Just end it. Y'all don't need to be together. Y'all be acting like y'all signed these Love is Blind contracts in blood, baby. You don't need to be with this person. And we see Alex trying to cozy up to him and she's playing with him and touching on him. If you see Tim's face, he is over it. Tim is over it. He looks like he's over this girl. And if things went the way that he said, I completely understand why. Listen, that was the end of episode 6. So all the reviews are out. So now I can get in the comments. I was trying to avoid spoilers, but now we can get in there and really chat. Leave me all of your thoughts and opinions below. Don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you're made aware because the next episodes drop this week, right? So I can't wait to watch those and talk about it with all of you. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for watching to the end. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!
Roxy says we're gonna